diversity in people and in ideas, and the fact that the teachers should be well-rounded in many things and not just the subjects that they're teaching.
Places of learning that are safe and collaborative and rigorous, and to prepare kids for the 21st century.
Where friends meet and learn and educate each other, like a nice, happy place.
A opportunity for kids to grow both academically and socially.
Preparing kids for college and the real world.
Opportunity to become something more than what they already are in an environment that's going to be supportive.
Fun, learning, and memories with a bunch of friends, meeting new friends, and just enjoying your time as a kid.
Kids can come and feel comfortable and a place of learning.
You can all be yourselves. Most important, that you feel safe to be yourselves, and that we're all in tune to your needs.
Schools are communities of learners.
A place where you can become a better version of yourself.
Where people should feel safe.
John 911, what's the location of the emergency?
Sandy Hook School. I think there's somebody shooting in here. Sandy Hook School.
Okay, what makes you think that?
Because somebody's got a gun. I saw a glimpse of somebody. They're running down the hallway.
There has been 387 recorded school shootings since 1992, which means 387 tragedies. Some get national attention and are well known by many, while others don't, but no matter how much media attention and recognition, all have been severely devastating. According to David Hemingway, who is the director of the Harvard Injury Control Research Center, children ages 5 to 14 in America are 13 times more likely to be murdered with guns as children in other industrialized countries.
Collectively, our group has gathered information from Revere High School's faculty and students as we interviewed and asked their opinions on these tragic events and our own school safety.
What was your reaction after seeing and hearing about the Sandy Hook shooting and any other you've heard about?
Well, of course, initial reaction was oh my god, this is horrible. And then a couple weeks later, it's okay, did any of the schools actually do anything about it? I didn't really see any improvements in our school. Maybe for 2 days, they had police standing in front of the schools. Maybe the regulations with security in other schools changed, but not really here. And I do think that Revere and this kind of urban area should have higher security.
You envision being that parent, and then you have to think about, okay, what could have been done and how could they have done things differently, and you think of your own child first. I'll be honest, I went home that day and I hugged both of my kids a little bit more that day.
Pretty sad, I almost cried, and freaked me out going to school next. I think it was Monday.
It was shocking, it was sad. It just really made me think a lot about what society in general and on the whole is thinking or not thinking.
I was genuinely terrified. Those things happen really close to home, and it feels like those things can't happen to you, but they can, and we just really need to do our best to protect ourselves. Whenever those things happen, I'm very thankful for the life that I've been given.
Do you feel safe in school?
I want to say I do, but I really don't, because anything's possible, and if you really wanted, you can get into school with anything you want.
For the most part, yes, but there's always that possibility where something bad will go down.
To some degree. Like I said, I think in terms of fire drills, in terms of those types of incidents, yes, but in terms of if someone decides to go on a crazy rampage and come into the school, no.
In this school specifically, yeah, because I've seen many precautions with the whole ID system, how we have to now close the doors in the East Wing at 8 a.m. and how the gym doors are always locked. I don't walk throughout the halls thinking I'm going to see somebody with a knife or a gun.
No, I do not feel safe at all.
Do you feel that our administration is prepared for situations like these?
As prepared as we can be, because every situation is going to be different. You never know what could happen. So you just have to be able to be a quick thinker and fast in your feet.
Prepared as you can be. I'm fatalistic. I know it can happen to anybody. It could happen to you anywhere, and I would hope I would not panic and behave to the best of my ability to protect as many people as possible.
I think a lot about things like that happening here. and I worry about the security in the school. I feel like it's really insufficient. So it makes me think that I should have something besides whatever they have planned. I should be ready.
You know, I feel like there's only so much you can do.
I don't think you could ever really be prepared for that, but we do have like emergency plans in place, like stay in place or lockdown, and things like that. So I mean, best scenario, I could lock the door and, you know, have the kids get under the desks or whatever to protect them. But I mean, you're never really prepared for something like that.
I don't know how truly prepared you can be to experience that. I like to think that we have good safety protocols here at the high school, but you react so differently in a situation like that than you could ever possibly anticipate.
In the event of an intruder or potential internal threat, the principal of Revere High School will make an announcement, all staff and students secure in place. This announcement will be made 3 times. Further announcements, which can be sent by either email or text with specific information, may be made, including any of the following.
Accept any students who are seeking to enter from the immediate area. Quickly sweep any nearby bathrooms or hallways. Shut or lock the doors and windows. Move students away from the doors and windows. Remain quiet. Students in the bathrooms or hallways should go to the closest classroom. Faculty members should remain in the closest classroom or office. Don't respond to a fire alarm unless there is a visual evidence of a fire.
Also, be aware of announcements or communications that may be false and keep email open, checking for communication and instructions. Communicate with neighboring teachers through inside doors if safe. Lastly, an administrator will notify the police to secure the property.
During this 2014-2015 school year, there has not been one practice lockdown. However, according to Kenneth Trump, President of National School Safety and Security Services, schools should conduct a minimum of 2 lockdowns each school year.
According to the Education Commission of the states, more than 20 states require lockdown or similar types of drills, and 30 states require schools to have broader emergency plans in place. While RHS uses the secure in place method, other schools across the country have different measures.
In my town, I live in Tewksbury, and my kids do what they call ALICE training. It's an acronym where they literally train the kids to throw things at an intruder, to escape the building if you can. And they train the administrators and the teachers to be more vocal as to where the intruder may be. Literally, where they have training where they send police in with Nerf guns. And they literally, my son was shot. My 7th grade son was shot because the intruder tried to he broke into their classroom and the kids rushed the intruder like they were, you know, to protect themselves, and the three of him and 2 of his buddies were shot.
Our interviews have proven that although you can never be fully prepared for something as devastating as a school shooting to take place, there are definitely precautionary measures that can be taken to better our chances of safety. When it comes to our school, we feel as if lockdowns are hardly ever practiced, and although some have argued that they add unnecessary fear and anxiety, we as high school students should be mature enough to realize that practicing lockdowns does not mean that this is going to happen, but that we need to be ready in the rare case that they do. Other measures such as locking the doors promptly at 7:40 and checking IDs upon entry to the school are taken, but they are not always followed, as there are several other ways to enter the building, and the words, "Where's your ID?" are heard numerous times throughout the day.
We believe that in order to ensure the overall safety of our students and faculty members, our school should conduct at least 2 lockdowns per year, as suggested by the National School Safety and Security Services. The students should also be as aware of the set emergency management plan as the teachers, so everyone is as prepared as possible. Currently, the classroom doors can only be locked from the outside, so if anything, we should replace the first floor doors with locks that allow teachers to lock their doors from the inside.
I would put myself in front of a bullet for any of my kids. That's just the way I feel.